This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. We have with us at WZRD via Zoom Cynthia McFadden. She is a candidate for Police District Council. Good morning, Cynthia. How are you today?
Good morning, Trudy. How are you doing today?
Good. Just a heads up, I think you didn't get my email because it was misdirected. Just try
Okay.
to not mention my name on the air because at Wizard, while we're on the air, we try to remain anonymous. It's not a big offense, not a major offense, but just try that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries. You didn't know. Even if you know, sometimes people forget, so it's not a big deal. But thank you. All
How
right.
you doing?
Good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, Cynthia, you are a candidate for Police District Council. What is a police district council member? What will you do if you win?
Okay, as police council ward person, this gives the community a voice in police oversight, okay? Um, through the people. So it gives you a voice in policing. Part of my job duties will be to hold, my main job duty will be to hold a town hall meeting once a month and to take the suggestions and concerns and directions from the community and take it back to the board and enact it through city ordinance,
Mhm.
okay, through the police department. Um, some of the things I want to look at and some of the things that I talk about to the people when I go out in the community is what are your concerns with the police department? What would you like to see? Do you have any suggestions? And I get some great suggestions on
Such as, yes, such as
I
give
got
us
it.
some examples.
Oh my God, I got an awesome one last night. I got an awesome one from my cousin Crystal. He's an educator.
Mhm.
And I was telling her about the position. She lives in Bronzeville. And she said, I've always said if the police have to have liability, if they have to pay their own liability insurance, I had to write it down when she told me. I was like, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Paid by the officers. She said, I bet you they will be a lot more careful when they pull that, when they pull the trigger and on how they approach people and how they behave
Did
while
your
obtaining citizens.
mhm. Did your cousin mention how much a liability insurance policy would cost the police a year?
Well, as she stated, she's an educator and she has to pay
Mhm.
liability. I
Oh.
own, I have a 1099, okay,
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
I teach dance classes. I have to have liability insurance
Mhm.
contract with the city. I
Mhm.
have to be responsible for if I hurt somebody or do something wrong while class or,
Mhm.
something happens because of me. I have to be responsible for that and I have to cover that. So I agree with her 100%. Why
Mhm.
can't they be responsible for their actions? If they had to pay out of their salary for their liability insurance, I agree with her that they would be a lot more cautious I'm sorry, I hate to be biased, but the African American and the Latin and the Asian community will be a lot more safer, okay, in the hands of our cops. I
Mhm.
don't have anything against the cops, but this is a reality and this is the issue. Okay.
Do you?
So
Mhm. Mhm. Well, have you thought about? Have you ever spoken to the union too? Because oftentimes, right, if you're going to be overseeing police matters, then
mhm.
that might involve police interaction with the unions as well. Did you get any input from the unions, from the
Well, I
police union?
definitely once. Well, at this phase of my campaign, where it looks like we may be secure with the petitions, it's time for me to get out and make those connections.
Mhm.
That's where I'm at in my plan. So now I would love to meet with the commander. I would love to meet with the union, the police union,
Mhm.
and
But
and investigate what's in place. But as I stated, that's just a suggestion from a voting citizen. I
mhm.
also had a voting citizen to tell me that it's not my cousin, to tell me that they think that because I think they should have training every 6 months.
Mhm.
That's something I think as a citizen, and I think that would make me safer, even if I wasn't a council ward person. I think every 6 months they should have mandatory training, and they should break it up. With me being an employment specialist, I can help with the strategy on how to break it up by alphabetical order, where they can get this training in place. Because as one of the other candidates stated, he works in the medical field and he has to have constant training. I work for assisted living in the geriatric field at my last employment place. And every 6 months, I had to have updated training on everyday living, medical issues, mental health, and physical health. And I had to have training on Alzheimer's, the new things that were out, the new medications, the new strategies. And if I did not complete that training, I couldn't clock in.
And and every time there is that training, how long does it take? All of that is new material that developed over the last 6 months, right?
So the training would probably take no more than 2 weeks. The way it's set up in the medical field, you do it online. You know what I'm saying? And then you have some, it's virtual and in person. But with the budget that they're getting, I don't think that should be an issue. They can figure out the training and do it every 6 months, because you also have citizens that's asking that they have regular psychological and emotional evaluations. Okay.
So right now they don't, right? Right now they don't.
No. And I was married to an officer. Okay. Married to an officer, and my husband, Mr. McFadden, is still in law enforcement. Okay. And he's not a police officer. So let's not get that confused. He was a sergeant in a prison. Okay. And he works in public safety for a bank. Okay. He's not a police officer. Okay. But he is an officer. He has a degree in criminal justice. I don't hate the police. I want to protect them. I want them to be up on their training. You know, I want to make sure that they're safe. I don't see a problem with emotional and psychological evaluations, considering how hard their job is. Considering what they have to deal with out there on those streets. They don't have an easy job. They don't.
When you do your trainings, do you have like some part of it is refresher too? Is that in addition to new material, there's also refreshers on the very important things that there
definitely the main thing I would like to see them refreshed on is the First Amendment right, the Fifth Amendment right, and RAS. When do you retain a citizen? When do you take their ID? When do you put them down in the ground and handcuff them? You understand? Because from what I understand, you don't do that unless you suspect them of a crime. You don't just, and then it depends on the state. So I already have someone in place that's going to help me with training the citizens on their First Amendment right, their right to assembly, and what they have a right to do and what they don't have a right to do, their Fifth Amendment right, okay, their due process, okay. And if we constantly train on that in our training, and the officers are being trained on the same thing, then as a vocational specialist, I see harmony in the community.
RDS, is that what you said? What are those letters?
RAS.
RAS. Sorry about that. RAS.
Right, to attain a suspect.
Okay. Attain a suspect. Okay, thank you. And that is those are the grounds to detain or arrest all the different scenarios?
Yes. And if we know our rights, then like I was just actually before you call watching on PBS about they did a study on the police department, and they studied the body cams, and they studied the difference of their approach to people.
Cynthia, could you please move back like to the center of the screen, and then that would make the sound better as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Awesome. That's okay.
They approved. They was watching the arrest. and they did a survey on how they treated the African American and the people of color, and how they treated the Caucasian people. And they said one thing I do remember that stood out to me: they could tell who they were pulling over by the language that they used. I was just watching that right before I talked to you.
Right.
They could tell. So that we need to work on that. You know, they knew if they were dealing with. They said one thing that they could tell is when they pull over a Caucasian person, they introduce themselves and they tell them a lot sooner why they pulled them over. You know.
Okay.
And even in my case, I've had to ask the officer, "Why are you pulling me over?" Because you don't have a front license plate. Okay. You know, somebody stole my plate, but it's a difference in the approach, and we need to work.
And when you, when they listen to the language, is it on tape that they listen to that language, and once they, or do they see, is this audio, right? Without even seeing the video, when they listen to the audio, they could tell if the officer is pulling over a Caucasian or not.
Right. They could tell without even looking at the video. It is video and audio, but they said even just by listening to it, you know, if you're sitting at a conference table, they can tell who they were pulling over. We have to do something about that. And they also talked about how, and I have to attest to this as an African American, we fear the cops. Even if you're a law-abiding citizen like me, I've never broke any laws. I've never done anything wrong. I've always been a law-abiding, honest, obedient citizen. Okay.
You're, in other words, you're afraid that a wrong move would trigger the police.
I just fear the cops, mainly after what I was watching today, how they treat Black women, how they'll handcuff you and throw you in the ground. And this young lady's asking, "Why are you pulling me over? What did I do?" And they're roughing her up. We just can't have that. I'm for all people. I really am. And I want us all to get along. And we really need to work together, because I don't think that's the right way for us to function. And how can we provide public safety if half of the public is afraid of the officers?
Right. Also, how much oversight would you be able to have over there's the district council member, and that, well, I think every police district has one person on the board, and then the police district council members advise that person, right? And then do you know how that person is assigned? Is that person assigned by, and if that person is assigned by whom?
Okay, no. Once they elect the council board, then there'll be an internal election for the commission.
Oh, okay.
Which would be the direct voice to the city for the ordinance, which would be the enactor basically, or the executor in a base for the body.
So the internal election of that board would be whoever, every district has the 3 members that win. So there are the 22 districts. The website says 22. I can't even, I really don't understand that, because you seem to be in the 24th district. There are 24 districts of police. And then on the website, it says that there are 22 districts. The police district members will be, police district council members will be elected to the 22 police districts. So I have no idea about that. But we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the internal election. So in other words, those 3 members times 22, the 66 will decide among themselves who will serve on the board, and the board will have 1 member representing each of the districts. So in other words, is that the entire board will do the election, or the 3 that win will decide among themselves who will be the member on the board?
From my understanding and the information I have received, it will be the entire board.
Okay. Thank you. And do you have any idea about the 22 districts versus the 24 districts?
Okay, I just pulled out the list, and
Mhm.
there's 25 police districts, as you stated.
Okay.
1 through 25.
Okay.
I have the list right here in my hand.
And each of all 25 have elections going on, right?
Yeah,
So in other
yeah,
words, the website that says Police District Council for 22 districts, that website needs to be updated then.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because there's been some people that came in late. So yeah, I would
oh.
agree with you that they probably should look into updating that.
Yeah, because I think there are like either 24 or 25 police districts. The number kind of
Yeah,
varied.
it's
Oh,
25. I have a
25.
list right here.
Okay.
It's 25 districts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what does the schedule look like? So entire entire all the members of the those who win, do they have a meeting every how often? And will the meeting involve everybody together, or will there be meetings between among the three at each district, and then maybe an annual meeting for everyone? Or probably likely more than annual, or hasn't that
No,
all been decided yet, the schedule of how those meetings will take place?
the way they are looking at doing it right now is that so we have 2 meetings that we're mandated to attend. So one of those meetings would be the mass board meeting.
Okay.
I would assume would be with all the meeting members in the commission. Okay. And then the other meeting is in the community.
Okay.
So
And
those are the 2 meetings.
and in the community, would that meeting involve only the 3 of you that win, or would it involve would the community be able to sit and meet with the 3 of you as well?
Definitely, the community meeting is a town hall meeting. We would also like to have the alderperson there, someone from the police department, presently or retired, for questions and concerns. The council members for that police district, and we are encouraging the community to come to the meetings. I plan to do meetings in the public libraries in Edgewater and Rogers Park, and to do virtual and Zoom, so we can get as many people involved as possible to open it up for suggestions, concerns, and directions. Okay? And we take it back to the board and we legislate. That's the way it works. And that's what we basically, we're gonna have a very small salary, but we get paid for the 2 meetings. That's what we get paid. Okay.
So you get about 500 a month, and then you get paid for those 2 meetings as well?
No, that's what we get paid for the meetings.
That's it?
$250 a meeting. Yeah, $250 a meeting.
Oh,
I'm wondering
okay.
if we're gonna get a per diem in the budget. I don't know. You would think we should get a per diem, but
So
I'm
the
an old school politician.
so in other words, if that is that 2 meetings per year or 2 meetings a month?
2 meetings a month.
Okay, got it. Okay,
2
that's how
meetings a
it's
month.
500.
Yeah. 2 meetings a month. Every month we're supposed to do that. So when I'm out petitioning and educating the community, I encourage them, mainly if they sign my petition, I encourage them. I said, this is how you hold me accountable. Okay? You're giving me permission to be on this ballot. If you vote for me, you're giving me permission to be your voice. I'm asking you to hold me accountable by attending the meetings and giving me your suggestions, your corrections, and your directions, and following up with me to make sure that I enact them by coming to the meetings every month.
Yeah, we would imagine that there will be many different concerns, and then you will be following up. It will probably you'll be doing more than $500 worth of work, it seems, in your position.
Definitely, it's definitely not for the money. Okay. This position is so new,
Mhm. Do you know if
and
there are any other similar police district councils in the U.S. or is this trailblazing?
this is trailblazing.
Mhm.
We actually, at one of our meetings, had a person from New York there that's looking at how we're doing this to lay out their plan
Oh.
to do the same. So we are trailblazers. We are the pioneers of this.
Mhm.
It is very important if any candidates or anybody is watching this to educate the voters on this position because I know from being in politics for very long, since the 90s, that if a voter really don't know about an office or the people, they won't vote. They just won't vote for it. Okay. So that's why I take extra time to let them know this is your chance. You have a voice. Hold me accountable.
And the number of petition signatures seem to vary from district to district. Does it
Yes,
vary because of the population
yes,
within? Mhm. And how
yes, it does.
many? And what is the number in the 24th district?
The 24th district, I need 396 good signatures.
Hmm. Okay. What is your role in choosing a new police superintendent if that becomes necessary?
I'm quite sure that the commission would definitely have a role in that, and also the community through their council ward person by their input.
Hmm. So evidently, we'll see, right? It maybe as we'll see how that plays out. You
Right.
probably be you give your opinion, like if you say yay, if the council on the whole says nay, and then we'll see if that nay is accepted or rejected.
Well, the people have a voice.
Hmm.
So, and the commission job is to enact their voice.
Hmm. What about the mayor?
And we
Let's
don't
say,
expect the police to agree with everything that we say. But
right.
just because they don't agree, we have to learn conflict resolution and negotiation skills to get things enacted.
Hmm.
I can't say I can't agree with that because that's not why I'm getting into this. I'm getting into this for us to have a voice.
Right.
And if I
Well,
get into a meeting and the cops say no and we say yes and more of them say no, then we don't have a voice.
well, the commission, that you would be advising, is uh, that who are the members of that commission, and what is the name of that commission that you would be the police district council would be advising?
Well, the commission is composed of the police district council.
Okay, so it's still
Right now, we
your
have
own.
an interim commission. Okay, right now the mayor has appointed 7
Mhm.
interim commissioners
Got
for
it.
this ordinance. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we turn in our petitions on the 28th.
Hmm.
Election is February the uh, we
28.
turn in our petitions on November the 28th.
Hmm.
Election is February the 28th.
Hmm.
Okay, we start our office in May.
Hmm.
Okay, so at that time, that gives us time to form a commission and
Right.
lay out the initial plans for this um, trailblazing
Hmm.
office that
I
has
guess
never been done anywhere. We're the first.
right. Well, I guess what we seem to was we were trying to get to was let's say the commission uh states a position. Is the mayor bound to abide by the commission's vote?
From what I understand, yes.
Hmm.
From what I understand.
Hmm. Okay.
From what I understand, that's the power that we're being enacted
Hmm.
with, from what
Hmm.
I understand.
Hmm. And all of this commission and police district council, this all derived from the consent decree.
Yes.
Got it. Mhm. And the timeline, it was supposed to have happened a little bit earlier, right? A couple of months earlier, all of this this election. If they had kept to the timeline, do you know if the election would be also on November 8th instead of February 28th? Because it seems as if there was a big lapse in the planned timeline.
No, I do have a degree in political science, okay? And I'm very engulfed in this game. And city elections are held.
So the city elections are always together. It wouldn't be combined in any way.
And the federal elections are always held on the second Tuesday of November.
Got it.
Okay, the primary. So when I ran for, that's for federal and state offices. Okay, the county and city offices usually run in the spring. Okay, they run on a different schedule, but it's according to the state. Okay, but on the federal level, it isn't. I think it's written that in the Constitution that the elections are held every second Tuesday.
Got it.
In November.
Are there some county offices that are going to be voted on in November, like Cook County President, or is that going?
Yes, they voted on county offices in November because I've already voted, and I voted for a county office.
Got it. Okay. Let's discuss a little bit more about what your constituents told you. You already gave us some very good examples. Could you maybe give us two more, because it's very enlightening what the citizens tell you, what the residents tell you.
Okay, let me think. I've had citizens talking about using some of the budget for community policing. If there was a way we could organize community policing and give some of that to the community to govern their community, to protect their community, and to help the police, okay? They've given that suggestion, and I can agree with that as well.
Does that mean like some maybe citizen security instead of all of them? That would be community policing separate from what we have now in CAPS, right? It would be more of a citizen involvement.
Almost like the Hells Angels, and I remember when I lived on Juneway in the 90s.
Oh, you mean you mean the Guardian Angels, right? The Guardian Angels?
The Guardian Angels, not the Hells Angels. Excuse me, guys. We don't want the bikers. I'm sorry. The Guardian Angels, like the Guardian Angels, or like when I lived on Juneway in the 90s when I was a young mother, we started a neighborhood watch through our block club, which cleaned Juneway up. Juneway used to be like Howard Street. You couldn't come outside without smelling drugs, them approaching you to buy drugs. They would hang out all in front of the windows. They were so bad that when I would go in my daughter's bedroom downstairs, it would be full of pot. And she was 5 years old. She's not smoking pot. Why is this room full of pot, right? So they would all hang out all up and down Juneway Street. So we came together as a neighborhood and formed the neighborhood watch. We worked with the police to get Juneway cleaned up. Those type of things are effective. And these are the type of things that the people in the community are suggesting. Let me think of another one. They're really excited about the training.
What kind of training is it going to be?
It's going to be the training for the officers. They're really excited about that because a lot of people agree with me. Like I was saying, my husband was an officer, right? Yeah. And a lot of people agree with me that my husband went to officer academy for a few months. You know, he was gone. He went to academy. He did his thing. Never went back again. The only updated training he had to take was with the firearms. So he never went. None of his training again. He never was refreshed, as you stated, and he went to the top. He rose. He was almost he was a sergeant, lieutenant of a lockup. Okay, and the whole, and from one from one academy. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm,
I'm not saying he wasn't a good officer, but he was never refreshed.
mhm. Yes, we understand because there's a lot of different situations that develop and uh, new things happen all the time. The officers do need to know about because it doesn't happen to them. It might happen further in another district or what
Right.
and they do need to know about that. Yes, there are many other like utility workers. They also have to be retrained as well.
And one more thing I wanted to say on this, and then we can go on. I've even went out and talked to the business owners in largest part, the
Yes.
small business owners and the UPS stores, and I talked to all of them about how safe do they feel in the community.
Hmm.
Do they feel comfortable with the police?
Hmm.
Do they feel like the response time is good? I went to a store, I won't name what store, and they
Hmm.
told me they were over there, they're at the gateway over there on Clark in Howard Street.
Hmm.
And they told me that when people were getting robbed over there, like the city trend and stuff like that, and it would take the police 40 minutes to come.
Right.
Response time.
Hmm.
We want to see a better response time and more accurate, safe de-escalation
Hmm.
tactics. So that's what the people in the community is asking for.
A lot of these, as for instance, for better response time, there needs to be more police because evidently we went to meetings and they're short-handed. Would the board have any say over how the police budget is allocated? If let's say if there is uh, money that let's say there's a shortage of officers at a certain district or whatever. Do you know the extent of the board's role in allocating the police budget?
Oh no, we don't have any role in that. The budget has already been allocated.
Hmm.
They already have their earmark and their money.
Got it.
Only thing we can do is suggest directions that will make it more efficient and safer for the community. That's what I would do, you
Got it.
know.
And what about, well, the current budget has already been earmarked.
Right.
When will the next budget be? And do you think the commission will have any say over that?
I think we will have some input on that, mainly with the suggestions and directions from the community. You know, I think we would like the training module that would have to be budgeted.
Hmm.
Being an appointing specialist, I know you just can't go in there tomorrow and say, "Look, we got to do a training every 6 months." It
Hmm.
has to be budgeted. They have to have stacks. They have to have a curriculum. They have to have, the modules to do this training.
Right.
You know, they have to have the trainers. So all of that have to be budgeted, and we have to consider that when we suggest these things be put into place. We have to look at the budgeting issue on
Hmm.
these things, okay? On these issues. We can't I'm not just gonna say, yeah, train them and I want to look at nepotism in the hiring place. I don't
Hmm.
think we should do that. And that's something that I'm gonna speak up loudly about.
Hmm.
I don't know how far I'm gonna get on that, but I just feel like if they hire people that have a desire to do the job, not because it's a passion and a desire that they have. I know police officers that I went to Lincoln University with that work for the Chicago Police Department. One of them is retiring right now. And my husband, they all wanted to be police officers. They went to school for criminal justice. That was their passion. That's what they wanted to do when they grew up. You
Hmm.
know, I remember my husband, 19 years old, when I grew up, I wanted to be a cop. That's what he told me. And he
Hmm.
begged me to be a police officer in Chicago, and I begged him not to do it because I was scared for him. So
Hmm.
I do have empathy and passion for the police officers as well. And we will have some input on the budget and how it enacts the community.
Do you know if, let's say there are citizen concerns, does the commission have a duty to address every concern and follow up with that citizen?
Um,
Or would
I
it be
would
up
think,
to,
from working in legislation, I would think that it would be prioritized.
Okay.
and agreed upon the body on how to deal with it and strategize to get it done. That's what I would
Got it.
think.
Yes. And that is kind of what the legislators do too, right?
Right.
Citizens approach them with all sorts of concerns, and they're not able to address everything, but they try to.
Yeah. And also, we'll talk about the lobbying point of it. That's what citizen lobbying comes in. And I don't see a lot of that in Chicago. That's where the citizen lobbying come in. Now they can get in touch with me and lobby me about a concern. My son got pulled over yesterday and they knocked him upside his head, whatever, white, black, red, or blue, whatever. They can lobby me about that. And that's something that I will address as their council ward person. Anyone that came to me with a concern, I'm going to address it. And I'm going to stress it to the body representing my 24th police district ward.
And this
That's
is
how I feel. I feel that's my job.
absolutely. And this would be a 4-year position?
4-year position, yes.
Okay.
4-year part-time job.
Yes. Well, Cynthia McFadden, thank you so much for joining us on WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM today, and telling us so much about your plans and enlightening our listeners about the role of the Police District Council. And what is the name of the commission again? The Police Commission, or the official name? Do you have it on hand? There's always these different names of all these different departments and commissions.
No, I don't have the exact name on hand. I think it's no, I'm not sure of the exact
That's
name.
okay. If you find it later,
I do
just
know that they were appointed by the mayor. I know that we
got
had
it.
to lobby the mayor to appoint. And that's what the gap in time was.
Ah,
Getting the mayor to appoint the commissioners before the election. That's what the thing was. Before petitions were served. So we had to work with her, and because they had 7. They had needed 7 and she had 5. So we had to persuade her to appoint the last 2 or 3, I think, right? Like I think in July, we were lobbying her, Lori, and asking her to please appoint the commissioners so this ordinance could be enacted. And we could receive our petitions and stuff by the 30th of August.
in other words, the process was to slow down because Mayor Lightfoot wasn't able to appoint all the 7 temporary commissioners
Right.
that were necessary.
Yes, that exactly. That's
Yeah.
factual. That's factual. Because I actually lobbied a couple of times myself, asking her to please appoint the final 2 when I got in. Yes.
Do you know how what she used to qualified candidates for the temporary positions?
I know that she selected from aldermen's.
Alderman's suggestions?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I understand. And we met the board. We had our first meeting in elections about 3-4 weeks ago at Malcolm X College, where the commission was there, and we did our elections for their offices, and because they had just really gotten into place.
Oh, what kind of elections? That's interesting. The at Malcolm X 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was the commission held its first meeting. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they have their first public meeting.
And then what transpired at that meeting?
They found that the chair of the committee, the co-chair, the correspondence secretary, financial advisor, those type of elections for the commission.
Okay, so the board almost. And then have you any idea when the next meeting will be of this commission, so that maybe our listeners could watch it or participate?
No, I don't. I haven't gotten any information on that. I don't know if they're gonna wait until I don't know. I really don't know. I
No
haven't gotten
worries.
any information on that, so I would hate to assume anything because that's not a professional thing to do.
Yes.
So,
Well, if you find it out later or and the official name of the commission, please send it along to me, and then we'll
okay.
include it in the description of our interview.
Okay. It's called the Ordinance Commission. Yeah, the City Public Safety Ordinance Commission. I believe
Public
that's what it's called.
safety.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's okay, Cynthia. Well, you can send it to me later. It's
Sure.
fine. Yeah. Well, Cynthia McFadden, thank you so much for joining us on WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM today. And also, good luck on your campaign. And
Thank you.
oh, and if there are any for equal time, if there are any other candidates for Police District Council that would like to interview on WZRD, please email us at the station manager at wzrdchicago.org. Thank you again, Cynthia. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.